Hello students, in this session we are going to study
universal testing machine. In material testing, let us start with the universal testing machine. So universal testing machine is a machine which is used to find the tensile strength, compressive strength and shear strength of the material, because it can find the different strength of the material, tensile, compressive, shear. So that's why we call it as universal testing machine. That is, it is universal, right? And you can see here a pic of universal testing machine. This is the modern universal testing machine used nowadays. And you can see some parts of the universal testing machine is there. This is a holding grip where the specimen is held. Holding grips are there. Then this is specimen shown here. This is the load cell where the load is applied, and due to that applied load, the crosshead starts moving upward if it is a tensile loading is there. And for the time being, we have shown here tensile load. And this is the stationary base which is not movable. So this is the one of the picture of universal testing machine. So let us further discuss about what is UTM and what the result can be obtained. We will take the example of tensile testing only, not compressive or shear strength. We will take the example of tensile testing mainly on the mild steel. You can see here there is a typical curve of tensile testing of mild steel. We are using the mild steel specimen here. You can see here this is the mild steel. Original length of the mild steel was like this, but when the load is applied, you can see some deformation is there, right? So this is the typical curve obtained in a mild steel specimen. Some elastic curve is there. Within elastic limit, you know that the material can regain its original position, and this is very close to the vertical line, very close to the vertical line. Means straining is very small straining is there. In theoretically we show a large straining, but actually you can see here very small straining is there, right? So strain is on x-axis there, and this is small straining in the elastic limit. Then yielding start, where the material will not regain its original position, and there will be partial deformation in the material after the removal of the force. This is called plastic deformation. So plastic deformation starts and the yielding is there. And at this point, yielding, there are 2 points basically, upper yielding and lower yielding points. So basically these are the yielding points. And then further applying the load, there is strain hardening take place, right? Strain hardening shows that the stress immediately increases. More load is applied to gain the strain, right? So suddenly strain hardening is there. You can use, you can study in material science why strain hardening take place. This is the typical nature of the material, mainly mild steel, that there is some strain hardening is there. And then we got a peak point. Some peak point is there where the stress is maximum. Maximum stress is obtained at certain point, that is called ultimate strength. That is called ultimate strength. The material cannot have strength higher than this is the ultimate strength. And then after reaching a ultimate strength, again the straining is very large. You can say with a small load the straining is there, and without changing the load straining takes place, and without changing the stress straining takes place. And that is the necking portion. And neck started means the area of the specimen is reduced to very small, and finally at certain place the fracture takes place, right? Rupture of the material take place. So this is the typical curve one can obtain in mild steel tensile testing, right? So you can see here some necking is seen here due to the applied load, right? Now one more curve is there to find out the what type of calculation can be asked in GATE exam or any other competitive exam. So you can see here this is the on y-axis stress is taken, on x-axis strain is taken up to certain limit from point 1 to point 2. This is yield elastic limit, and yielding start at point 2, because elastic limit and yield point are very close to each other, and also proportional limit are very close to each other, so it can be assumed as a yield point. So yield strength is there at this point, yielding starts, and yield strength up to this strength or stress up to this point is called yield strength, right? So this is the yield point basically. Further loading will cause the yielding of the material, plastic deformation starts, right? And then peak point is there. This is the peak point where maximum stress is obtained. This is called ultimate tensile strength. Ultimate strength, right? So this is the elastic zone. This hatching part is the elastic zone, and then the plastic zone starts. So up to this part, this is plastic zone. You can see here, this is the plastic zone, right? After that, the fracture takes place and the necking starts. Here the necking starts. This is the necking part, and finally at 5 point the fracture takes place, right? So this is the important curve which we typical curve for mild steel. And what are the calculations we can do from here using this data? What are the calculations can be done? We can find out the yield strength or the stress at yield point. Stress at yield point, that is yield load upon initial area. What is the load applied at yield load? So there will be a control panel. At control panel we can see the today we can directly have the electronic control panels are there. In older times there were deflection type of load and old panels were there, but nowadays it is all electronic. So in control panel we can see the deformation as well as the load. So yield load and initial area, the original area of the specimen will give the stress at the yield point. So yield strength can be obtained from here. Then ultimate stress can be obtained or ultimate strength can be obtained. That is the ultimate load. What is the load at point 3? What is the load at point 3? That is P3. That can be obtained from the control panel. What load you have applied to get this yield strength, ultimate strength, and then the original area divided by original area. So load upon area will give the ultimate strength, ultimate load upon original area. Then there will be a breaking stress. Breaking stress. So what is breaking stress? The force at the breaking point. What is the force at the breaking point? At this point, what is the load at the breaking point? Suppose P5 is the load at the breaking point. So P5 load upon the original area, that will give the nominal breaking stress. We can also find the actual breaking stress. Actual breaking stress basically depend upon the final area, because area is getting reduced. Area is getting reduced, necking takes place. So actual breaking point is obtained from this point, but for engineering point of view, a nominal breaking point is important. So actual breaking point is obtained by the breaking load, which is P5 here, divided by the final area, which is the area before breaking, right? Just before fracture takes place, because their necking is there, right? Then there is percentage elongation in length. What is the elongation of the specimen take place? That is the final length minus initial length divided by the initial length, right? Change in length upon the original length. So this is the change in length upon the original length. By this we can find out the percentage elongation, right? And what is the percentage reduction in area? That is the area minus final area divided by the initial area, right? Multiplied by 100. So by this we can find out the percentage reduction in area. So from this test, this tensile test, we can obtain the different strength of the material at different points. So this question is important for the completion point of view.